The game seems pretty straightforward, Manny said. We spin the wheel and pick up one of these cards to win favor coupons. You want to go first? I was nervous and breathing heavily. I could hear my heart thumping loudly in my ear. Maybe the game wasn't a good idea. Manny seemed calm as he laid out the cards on the board. I stared at the blindfold and then the vibrator. Then, from the vibrator to the blindfold again. I grew more anxious. Ready? Manny asked. The board was fully set up. I nodded. I tried to think of a clever decoy so that I could distract Manny long enough to either set the blindfold on fire or accidentally drop it into our personal shredder upstairs. I'll spin first, Manny said. The white disc in the center of the board game whirled until it landed on a section labeled Challenge. Manny picked it up and read it aloud. Blindfold your partner, and before the time is up, guess what part of their body they have put in your mouth. That damn blindfold. What? What does that mean? I hated how hysterical I sounded. Then, in a split second, my memory raced back to the night of the sex party, and I remembered Clarissa's description of the game. This is so much fun for couples, she said. You play the challenge cards in order to win favor coupons that are good for 30 days outside of the game. If your partner is a man, then I can assure you every time you're blindfolded, he will try to put his penis in your mouth. So now that you know the answer, you'll win the challenge for sure. Her description had the room of drunks roaring with laughter. I vaguely recalled hoping to cheat in the game by writing answer equals penis on my order form. Manny reached for the black silk blindfold and motioned for me to come closer. I had no choice. The shredder was upstairs and there were no matches in sight. What's worse, I could only imagine what Manny would say when I backed out of playing after it was my idea. I leaned in, half expecting the blindfold to be one that you can see through or one that you can successfully peek out the bottom of. Instead, I saw nothing but blackness as soon as he put it on. Almost instantly, I felt my heart beat faster and my hearing become more acute. You ready? I could make out the sound of him shifting on the chaise and the rustle of what I thought was his shirt coming off. There was the unmistakable sound of his zipper going down and the thud of his pants hitting the floor. Open your mouth. A faint touch of laughter accompanied his instruction. I suddenly didn't trust him. Feeling the sweat on my lower back begin to mirror the dewy slickness of my palms, I cautiously opened my mouth. Cold air rushed against my tongue. Before I had a chance to think, something was gently placed in my mouth. Well, I reasoned, it definitely wasn't his penis. Clarissa was wrong. It was a different kind of hard. I would have tried to explore it with more zest if it were not for the smell I couldn't quite place. I immediately recoiled, making what must have been a horrified face. Trust me, Manny said, guiding my head back. I could hear him starting to breathe heavier, the hard knob back in my mouth again. Try and guess. I started to press my tongue against it and assessed that it must have been a bone of some sort, since it seemed hard under the surface of the skin. I started to suckle it to try and figure out its shape, hearing Manny's breathing get harder and deeper with each stroke of my tongue. He seemed to have trouble keeping whatever it was in one place as it kept jerking in and out of my mouth. My mind was racing, but I couldn't think of anything that it might be. Since it obviously wasn't his penis, there was no harm in me possibly biting it off, so I scraped my teeth against it, which caused Manny to let out what sounded like a squeal, a deep moan, and a gasp all at once. It was a noise I had never heard him make before, but it was a decidedly satisfied sound.